become by becoming rich.
Take all your money, buy Bitcoin.
You can wake up every morning and say GM.
GM. Wednesday, 9th of October. Daily levels. Let's go. So, first of all, I mentioned it yesterday, I think it was, about Bitcoin and this 62k level. Are we in the process of seeing another low form here? Where we had this low forming at 60, moved up, rejected 64, back to 62, seems to be holding for now. If this turns and is able to put in a higher low formation, target would obviously be towards these highs here. And that might set up BTC to consolidate higher. If you look zoomed out on the daily, it makes sense for this area to provide support as it's dipped back into the bands, the daily bands, and they are trying to cross bullish. You can see here, the 50 is trying to cross the 100, which would put us back into a daily positive trend on the bands. Obviously not in a trend, it's still consolidating within the range, but it would be the first step. You had this rejection candle from Monday. Tuesday was a consolidation, slightly red, but really just sideways. Wednesday, we're just holding right now. On the way down, it seems like it should go lower. It seems like it's losing momentum. It seems like this should roll over and go to the downside. But the longer it takes to break it, the less likely it is to break. Obviously, you would have to see price reclaiming some of these levels and holding to be confident that the bottom's in at 62. It depends. I mean, if you look on the monthly, we've had our down move, we've had a lower wick, so it could continue and move to the upside and put in some upper movement here. We've got our weekly, which is consolidating inside of last week's. So seems like we could be seeing BTC ready to move back higher again. Obviously, you know, the main path expectation I would have after a rejection like we saw. After Monday's rejection, we tried on Tuesday, we did push up, so we squeezed out some shorts. We tried to attempt to go higher. I would expect normally this to move down, retest support, and then go from there. So I would still be of the opinion that that is likely. However, you know, we'll just play it as it comes. I don't really think there's a huge amount. I don't think there's a lot really to look at here with BTC other than long. It's not giving much of a setup for long either. There's clearly no real trigger on a market structure basis, as the 15-minute bands are bearish. The 5-minute bands are bearish. The 1-minute bands are bearish. And we tried yesterday to flip all that. We flipped the 1 minute back into a trend. The 5-minute tried to and was getting towards that but didn't quite. So in terms of calling this a local bottom, it's still too early to say, because you have everything below the 4 hour bearish. 1 hour is crossing and sort of bearish, and then the 15-minute, 5-minute. So even the 1 minute. So what I would need to see would be for BTC to obviously reverse that and start to move first of all into a 1 minute trend, and then you're looking at the 5-minute, same thing, and then you'd be looking at the 15-minute. Once it starts to flip those bands, and target would be up, target initially would be up here. So if it's able to flip all of that and hold, you would expect it to run to that level, take out that most recent peak from yesterday, and then fall back into a retest, at which point if you had the 15-minute trend forming again and you have the 1 hour trend trying to cross over, that might be where you see a move towards the highs. So really for the long side, you need to see Bitcoin have a strong move up towards 63.2 and then hold on a retest. So essentially just turning the bands. So still work to do, and that's why, as you say, the 62k level with the 4 hour 200 EMA as support seems to be holding, but it's too early to say whether that is going to produce an upwards move. So it's completely fine to say this can be holding at 62. Just a bit early to have any confirmation on it would be my view. What else? I know a lot of meme coins are popping off. I'll talk more about some memes on trade of the day. And I mean, outside of that, I don't think there's a huge amount happening across the altcoin market as a whole. It's just sort of also in the same consolidation as BTC, sideways chop, and equally this can go down or up. I wouldn't have a very strong opinion here. Stocks had a good day yesterday, reversed. Monday sell-off got reversed yesterday, consolidating right below all-time high. We saw gold with a red day. We saw the dollar with another green day, consolidating as it starts to rise. And the VIX, which has been on people's radars lately, volatility still risen, right? So we still have this kind of persistently rising volatility, as is the case a lot of times in October. I showed that yesterday about how October can have rising volatility as election is coming and uncertainty is at its peak. The closer you get to the election, the less certain it is, because you're getting towards the point where decisions have to be made, and it's pretty much a 50-50 race, regardless of whatever the odds say. I think the odds have Trump in the lead now, 53-46, but it's a 50-50 race for many different reasons. Couple extra things to look at. Gold BTC. This is one that you need to see starting to trend lower. So I mentioned this. The next big wave on BTC, if it comes, is going to see probably an outperformance over gold, which means it needs to go below this black line below. You want to see it starting to break down. Same as the NASDAQ with BTC. You need to see that same directional move to the downside for a period of crypto outperformance. That's going to require Bitcoin to be closer to 70 and moving towards breakout territory, which is obviously not, as BTC right now is here. And we have BTC looking like this. So if you zoom it in, you go to 1 hour. We have the, this is the weekly, isn't it? Monday, yeah. So this is our weekly value area that is, from last week's value area. BTC has fallen back inside. Let me show this here. Take that off. Bitcoin's back inside last week's value area high. It is in this week's, which is developing. It's right at its value area low. So it looks like it's holding, but of course, that means this week we had a move to the upside initially, and all the volume's being distributed at the lows. So that's a sign, obviously, that the market's drifting lower and accepting lower. So if this is more likely to break down, even though it's near value area low, unless it's able to get back above 62.5, at which point you can start to look towards the September value area high, which is really your area for BTC. If you're combining it with what I talked about with the EMAs, if Bitcoin has a move up and then flips and holds the September value area high, along with those EMAs that I mentioned coming like that, that's when you can look at upside. But I think this week is going to be for BTC is going to be at best consolidation and trying to build a higher low, and possibly going lower if this breaks to the downside. What else? We have that's about it. So meme coins. There is a Sigma Giga Chad meta going on. So you can see here with Giga Chad, you have Chudjack, which is breaking out. You have Sigma, which is in a crazy big move. And some of the others are not moving, like the Pepes and the Wolves and the Moo. So the memes that are pumping at the moment are all related to that kind of Giga Chad, Sigma male. Also, there's one called Alpha, which is on Solana. So, and anything related to those kind of internet memes about Sigmas, Alphas, Chads, that kind of stuff. That seems to be what the market's gambling on at the moment. And so sporadic meme coin pumps don't equal tops, right? The fact that some stuff is popping off and others are not is not a top signal. It just seems like Bitcoin is going to keep doing Bitcoin things until it's able to have a clean break towards the highs. And in that time period, you're going to see other stuff running. And beyond that, I think you just want to... Here we go, like Apu had a nice move up. Apu's still actually looking pretty good. The cat coins are falling back a bit. Right, so the cat memes have... No, it's not like they've topped, but the cat memes are definitely stopping for now, cooling off. And then if you scroll down through the rest of the alts, there's not really much happening across the alt land at the moment. It's all sort of reversing back. Sui, after its big run, seems to be done for now. And that's about it. Not a whole lot else really to look at or focus on. And on trade of the day, I'll mention a trade I'm taking, which is in the Swing Trader chat, or one of the meme coins that we're looking at. That's about it. GM. See you later. 2 streams today. Ask Michael live at 4. Wipeout Wednesday. Straight after it at 5. Double stream. GM. See you then. GM.